Hi, my name is John and I've been using the internet for some time now. That sounds like some kind of WWWA meeting. Yep, my channel here on YouTube, a few people have seen. It's not one of the most visited channels. It wasn't really ever designed to be visited by many people. My initial objective was basically to have a little bit of an archive of thoughts. Most of my things are reflective thoughts, my own thoughts, so maybe I'm just talking to myself, but we all talk to ourselves in a certain way. We either do it in our heads, mumbling as we're waiting for things to happen. Some people write them on pieces of paper. I've just gone a little bit more high-tech and started putting them on video, which I put on YouTube. My thoughts are open to everyone. Anyone who wants to waste their time listening to me, I suppose. I am involved in some other areas of the internet, and I was in the past. In fact, that's where the YouTube channel sprang from. I was spending a fair bit of time on a thing called Yahoo Questions and Answers, which, to be quite honest, the questions and answers, yes, it's worse than Wikipedia. Wikipedia is basically written by the public, so you can't ever be sure of the facts you're getting from Wikipedia. As with the internet, as I've said before in other videos, and other people do say, not everybody, some people come up with, we have the truth, and they claim to have the truth. I'm not claiming to have the truth. What I am trying to do, mainly for myself, is put together a collection of thoughts, reflections on my experience and understanding through living and researching things. Many of my videos are there really just for feedback of thought, and also going back to the Yahoo and how YouTube connected to Yahoo. Basically, and I still do it, my thoughts are there, my expressions are there. Instead of typing out comments, I will just put the link to the video there. Okay, and if someone's watching that video, the guy's mad. Well, we are all mad, really, up close. I mean, there's nothing worse than being normal. And I'll explain that. If you look at the definition of the word normal, it's of the norms, of the regulations, you know, fitting into the square. I'll leave you to do the research into that, as it's always best that you do your own research. As there's a nice video that I've connected to one of my favourites that explains it much better. But you have to do your own research. If you follow the norm and therefore are normal, you're not really being yourself. You're being part of the mass. And that's another area where I'm trying to follow into, is understanding the mass behavior of human society. And it's, I think, abnormal, to use the expression, form. Okay, this is where one of the first blocks with moving forward comes in. Okay, and it's a difficult area because it's religion. Many people out there, especially in the USA, will not accept that the world is older than tot years. Many will go for the 6,000 year mark, some for the 10,000 year mark, and that's a big problem. That's one of the main problems I have with religion, because that way of looking at things prevents us from seeing where we came from. And if you can't see where you came from, you can't see where you're going. There's a video that I watched recently where a young Australian girl points this out. It's something I've been saying for some time. If you can't see roughly where you came from, you can't orientate yourself, and humanity needs to orientate itself, put itself in perspective. Modern society, I mean, our memories, our understanding of life is based on a short period of time. We've also got into this area where ignorance is coming in now, and people are coming out with all sorts of theories. Oh, that's a load of rubbish. You've got to be able to distinguish what is fact, okay, what is completely fiction. Okay, we have what we call the brain, the thought, okay, the mind, and then we have what people refer to as the soul or the spirit. Two things are the same thing. The brain is the physical part. The mind, where is it? The soul, the spirit, where is it? The animation, the anima, in Italian, from Latin. Okay, what animates us? What gives us life? Where is that breath of life? Often is returned to the feeling. I won't go into the connections between the physical part of the brain and the sensations, the feelings and all of that. That's far too deep. I'm going very quickly here because I want to get this into a short video, mainly for myself, so it gives me a reflection, also to answer to one of my few viewers who follows what I say and questions me, and that's it, it questions me. Not in the what the fuck you want about mate form, because that's like, if you want me to give you an answer, then give me a decent question. If you don't give me a decent question, you ain't going to get a decent answer. If you give me an abusive question, I'm going to give you an abusive answer. We get what we ask for, really. That's one of life's laws, really. So, yeah, very quickly, human society, where it came from, that's why I spoke in a video about the apples and pearways to heaven, which probably seems a little abstract and very few people have watched it. But our tribal fairy tales, sorry, I know religious people are going to get offended by this, but it's a book. Okay, and personally, on my beliefs of religion, God or no God, I'm keeping an open mind to that. I can't say there is no God. Okay, I don't have that evidence. But what I can say is that the God concepts represented by religions generally are man-made. There's that thing that God made man in his own image and we made God in our image. Think about it. But I can't bash my head against religious people, okay? People who are going to follow blindly a book. If they're not going to see the absurdity of how that translates into real life. Look at George Bush. Look at what he created, okay? He connects himself to Jesus Christ and God, and if that's good and all that tends to worry me a little bit about where we're going, considering that not everybody in the world is of that particular faith either, and of that particular faith, let's say Christianity, is subdivided. So you have to get to some base root, and you're never going to get to that base root if you can't go back beyond 6,000 years. 6,000 years, as I explained, is the tribal memory, or the what reference to a tribal memory you're referring to, which detaches us from nature and the rest of the world. Okay. Going back onto my YouTube channel, what I tend to do, that's why it doesn't seem to follow any particular theme, is I'm looking at dots and trying to connect them. A little bit of that dot to dot type thing. Okay, and that's what I suggest everybody does. They look for as many dots as possible. Don't just fixate on one dot. The more dots you can see and the more connections you create, the clearer the picture. And then by giving values, various forms of values, I mean base the values on many different things. Don't try to be singular in your thought pattern. By giving colors, hues, tonality to those shapes within the connecting lines between those dots, you will get a clearer picture. Now, just to very quickly answer the request very quickly, because the problem is everything is very deep. I can't give you the answers. I can't explain the answers in a short video. I'm trying to write a book. And it's a very complex book, and it changes form, it's morphing all the time based on my understanding. And the deeper you dig, the more you understand, and the more that you realize that you didn't understand, or what you understood was not quite correct, or needed to be reformed and rethought. That's where the spirit, or the soul, or the feeling comes in. Okay, the spirituality part of it, which I can actually understand, because sometimes you can feel things. You can't explain it, and that is also important. But if you want to put your argument across to other people, you have to be able to explain it, and that's one of my big problems here, trying to explain it in a rational sense. Anyway, very quickly, no, I probably won't do this in this video, but I was going to talk very quickly about the connections between Brzezinski, a guy called Makida, the pivot, the heartland, and uranium. But I will leave that for another video. This was just a presentation of myself, which I'm going to put onto a Facebook channel where I've just introduced myself, and probably everyone's thinking, who the fuck is this lunatic? Yes, this is me. Hi.